But in order to be useful, what does this kind of markup need? Well, first of all, it needs testing to find the optimal combination of freedom and constraint. There's no particular reason why we need to observe the constraints that I did. I did them simply because they were convenient. To use the rules of well-formed XML made sense for freeing us from the implied interpretations of the text encoding initiative and freeing up the interpretive structure. But it may be that I'm not wedded to that, neither is Craig, and there may be other ways in which you could design very, very loose schema that actually provide a better combination of constraint and freedom, which might be better. So, and that can only be discovered through testing. We need a provisional separation between the use of markup to make texts available and the use of markup to analyze and interact with texts. Whenever I have presented this work based on this project to textual editors, there is invariably, no matter how many times I flag it, there is invariably a howl of protest from the textual editors saying, we've got to provide good authoritative texts that are free of interpretation for people to work on. And I agree, I completely agree. This has nothing to do with the importance of that task and the importance of maintaining good textual archives of reliable text. But what I'm describing is something that is completely different. It is the subsequent use of a reliable text for interpretive purposes, for analyzing and interacting with the texts. We need better tools, obviously. Oxygen is wonderful, but it's not, you're obviously not going to get people working with the tags with their bare hands. You need some kind of a device which will enable people to easily identify these structures and to easily generate schema from the markup that they provide. And we need aggregation mechanisms which take these idiosyncratic responses and find patterns within them. A doctoral student of mine is working on means of finding patterns in tagging systems for bookmarking systems like Delicious and CiteYouLike. It strikes me that what we need to do is expand projects like that, use text mining techniques to some degree to take the things that people said about a text in the total freedom and find patterns. So some form of aggregation is going to be very important. Why does this matter? There are two reasons that it matters. One is what I call the pompous view, which is that there are a lot of very knowledgeable, good scholars out there who want to do interesting things with text, and they need better tools. They need to be able to do more. It's not, tagging things with a read later or gee, neat is not enough for what humanities scholars want to do. They need to do more, and it is I'm hoping that if we are able to develop something like this, the high-level scholars will have more tools at their disposal. The marginally less pompous view speaks to the problem that I noticed when I was teaching in the humanities, which is admittedly some years now, which is that there are a lot of people who simply vanish from your literature classes because they feel very early on that there is a discourse going on here that they can't relate to, that there are standards of evaluation that they can't understand, and that these texts have nothing to say to them, and they disappear. If there was some way in which the people who cannot adapt to literature as it is taught in a conventional sense could find some way of seeing if there are echoes to their responses somewhere in the wider community, we might in fact develop some kind of meaningful input from the user and the reader end, which can help to rejuvenate the way in which we teach literature and in the way we make literature comprehensible to users. And I would hope that something like this would make it easier for people to reach out to a reading community as a whole and find echoes of themselves in that broader community. So,